They chillin' in Alaska, swimming in Atlanta, vultures out in B-Mall, they Kira, Carolina, they wildin' in Chicago, howlin' down in Big D, Mile High in Denver, that Tallahassee pride is deep, they lunching in Vancouver, Desperado shooting, the renegades on the loose, the hyenas looting, gold out in QC, who higher than them sparrows, the furies swooping in divine order for the pharaohs, Indy on the rise, the sharks about to mash, gladiators, knights and Aztecs about to clash. Welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see the all-pro party. And welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see an all-pro party. First and 10, I'm so aggressive. The end zone, the game plan, no pressure. They gotta pay me how they measure me. You know these haters on my back like the referee. You know I'm in it to win it. Game day, I'm about my business, I gotta get it. So I'm all about my ends. And these non-stop wins. They can't touch us, can't touch us. We turning up on these suckers. You know the D brought the ruckus. Cause we tighter than the huddles. Welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see the all-pro party. And welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see an all-pro party. Third down is going down. Round and pound, oh, we gotta air them out. That's why I gotta hit the route. Hit the flat, if I catch it, then I'm out. Fourth and inches gotta take. YOLO, just no pump fake. So tighten up and hit the power high. The audible and draw them off sides.
Ryan Michaels gets a block midfield. Ryan Michaels, he could be gone. Trying to be comfortable behind, he will not. Touchdown, Houston.
Welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see the all-pro party. And welcome to my all-pro party. Baby girl, this an all-pro party. The SFL is an all-pro party. They came out to see an all-pro party.
Jay Yola shakes it. Oh my goodness, and Yola gets away. Jay Yola on the first play for Tallahassee is going to score again. Left side, Odom gets away. Odom breaks another tackle. Ash Odom, you've got to be kidding me. Big chase, 10-5 touchdown. Oh my word.
Tonight, it all comes down to this. The Chicago Wildcats can avoid the wild card round with a victory and send Queen City into the first four. Or will the Corsairs lock up an automatic qualifying spot and leave Chicago to fend for themselves on Wild Card Wednesday? The 8-3 Corsairs, the 7-4 Wildcats. The playoff picture will be decided next on Twitch. Welcome to the Thunderdome in Chicago, Illinois for tonight's game between the 8-3 Queen City Corsairs and the 7-4 Chicago Wildcats. With Shan Varner on stats, alongside Stephen Mullinex, I am Cameron Irvine. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing wonderful, Cam. Great to be here on a Sunday night with you on such a pivotal point here in our season, right here at week 13, with all these playoff implications going on around us. What a great day for football. In this particular game for me, though, Cam, it's about Chicago. This is a team that went 8-4 back in season 9 in their first season, went all the way to the championship, and guess who they had to climb over to get there? Queen City in the playoffs. But since then, Chicago's gone a little bit downhill. 3-9 last season, have climbed their way back up, and now we get to see a rematch of that playoff contest that they had so long ago. This one, Cam, is important for going into the playoffs with positive momentum.
Chicago is wearing pink accessories tonight to honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So nice touch there from Chicago. And they're trying to get relief from Queen City and get out of the wild card round. The ball's on the tee, the hands in the air. Ricky Matthews kick it. We're underway. This is from the 11-yard line, and this is Corey Carter. And Carter's put down at the 27-yard line. Let's first and foremost get to the scenarios of tonight's contest. If Chicago wins, the Chicago Wildcats will be at the number 4 seeded Houston Hyenas. Next week, Queen City would host Carolina in the wild card round, a 7-10 matchup. If Chicago loses, Queen City will host Houston in the 4-5 quarterfinal matchup, while Chicago will have to go to Vegas first in the 9-8 wild card matchup. Got it? Good. A pickup of 8 yards for Torres out to the 36-yard line.
Well, Cam, you got to kind of pick your poison there for Chicago. They win this game, you're going to go to Houston, who just beat Tallahassee. That's a team I wouldn't want to face right now with the Hyenas. And then you've got Vegas, who coming off a big win against Mexico City. So, you're going to have to play a good team. That's why they call it the playoffs.
2nd and 2 at the 36 for E.T. King, and he'll hand it off. And a first down for Chicago to the 42-yard line for Jared Willis. Stephen, this is the first Chicago Wildcat game we've called since they got a bunch of new pieces on offense, and this has been a different team.
Yeah, and Willis there running the ball. He's one of those new pieces, a Week 6 signing. He's had 725 yards on the ground, 6 touchdowns through 7 games. Been a big part of their offense.
King straight back and has lots of time out to Willis. Willis going to be dragged down in the open part of the field by Oscar Dunkley in the flat, a 3-yard pickup. And this Queen City team is 8-3 for a reason. What a bunch of studs defensively.
Yeah, absolutely, Cam. You're talking about Oscar Dunkley, Achilles Frank, 2 of the guys that are tied for 4th in interceptions. They both have 8. So you've got some major ball hawks in the secondary.
2nd down and 7 at the Wildcat 44, 9:27 to go in the opening quarter here on Twitch TV. Willis trying to shift his way through a crowded mess of green and black. Zane Doty on the tackle. 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats' first 3rd down of the drive.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's another pick your poison here with this Queen City Corsairs defense. 6th in passing defense, number 1 against the run. So you're just trying to do what you can do against this hard-hitted defense.
King, deep ball, open, it's caught, and a late hit is called at the end. Corey Carter laying out, and the Wildcats have early momentum. What a catch from Carter.
Yeah, Carter with the full extension, and look, King puts it in perfect placement above 2 defenders, and they're going to get the call as well for the late hit. This should put them right here in the red zone, I believe.
At the 18-yard line is where they spot the ball after Nacho Sicario's penalty. What a throw and catch to Corey Carter from E.T. King. The rest of that Wildcat offense, Willis, number 24, receivers Buchanan Simons, number 14, Sham Varner's the tight end, number 88, and J.C. Torres, we already met. Number 89, he was signed in week 4. Handoff goes to Willis. Willis going to break a tackle. Willis dragging defenders down to the 12-yard line, a 6-yard gain.
Well, you got to love the balance you're seeing here from Chicago. They're passing effectively. Willis is starting to get on a roll a little bit. You've got to like what you've seen early from Corey Carter, returning the kickoff, and then coming in and making a big play. Has had kind of a down season this year, but coming up big when it counts.
8 minutes to go, first quarter. 2nd down and 4 from the 12. 3 in the backfield, handoff. Willis with a lead blocker. Nearly got a first down, but literally was thrown backwards by Avery King, who prevented the first down. King one of the most consistent linebackers in SFL history.
Yeah, and his 5th season here in the SFL is already over triple digits for tackles this season with 104.
3rd and inches at the 8. We'll see what Chicago does here. They're going to run it. Willis, first down, still moving. And what I love about Willis is he's keeping the feet moving despite there not being a big hole up the middle, and he gets a 1st and goal.
Well, I like the fact that he's following his blocker, and that's exactly what you want to do. It's almost a free yard or two right there because his blocker was just able to really fill that hole and push it the opening just enough for him to get that yard or two.
And off Willis, and Willis not much there. Duffy brings him down. Jeff Duffy in his 2nd year on the defensive line, 6'5", 300 pounds, brings up 2nd and goal from the 6. The rest of that Queen City defense, Achilles Frank is the free safety outside, number 25. Zane Doty, free safety inside, number 21. Leroy Jenkins and Oscar Dunkley are the corners, 24 and 42 numbers respectively. Sicario's number 31 at strong safety. 2nd and goal for the 6. Handoff Willis again. Willis is stood up and thrown backwards after only a 2-yard gain. Another critical 3rd down here for Chicago, who's eaten 5 minutes off this opening drive clock.
Well, it's been impressive what Chicago's been able to do against the number 1 defense in the SFL, allowing only 16 points a game. And Chicago looks like it's on the edge of here scoring.
They go 4 wide, empty backfield as King is trying to spread out the Corsair defense. E.T. King going to the top of the screen. Touchdown, Shan Verner! And Chicago scores on a 5-minute opening drive.
We'll give that one to the offensive coordinator, calling that 4 wide. It looked like it confused Queen City's defense as they had actually 1 defender out to the right on 2 receivers. And the guy had to make a decision, ends up really not making one, tried finding a space in between the 2, leaving both wide open, and then and opening up that opportunity for the touchdown.
Chicago, who lost the first meeting between these two teams in Queen City earlier this season, 23-14. That was a very hard-fought game, and the fact that Chicago already has half of what they had in Queen City is impressive all on its own. 7-0 Chicago over the Corsairs. What a start for E.T. King and the Chicago Wildcats. 4 for 4 for 26 yards on the opening drive for King.
And this is a Chicago team that's getting hot at the right time. They're coming to this game on a 5-game winning streak. That's typically what we see out of Queen City, the 4-time champion. They tend to get hot at the right time, but they come into this game losing 2 out of their last 3.
From the 9-yard line, this is Kalu on the return out to the 28. A.J. Caswell, he's kind of that Brett Favre type. You know you're going to get some picks out of him, but you know you're going to get some sensational plays, some mad dash scrambles, quarterback sneaks. They are so versatile offensively.
Yeah, and Caswell, doesn't just have the great cannon arm, but he's got the legs to match. Number 1 in quarterback rushes, number 1 in quarterback run touchdowns with 4.
Out to Odom, and that play was a disaster. Clint Hendershot eating in the backfield, a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, there's just too many of those pink shoes in the backfield, Cam. And Caswell just had to find someone open and goes to Odom, but Odom looked completely unprepared for that pass, and they just really, the defense blew that thing up completely.
2nd and 14 at the 24 as Queen City's trying to get some positive momentum. The handoff goes to Ash Odom to get that yardage back. 3rd down and 10. Yeah, I kind of like it, Steven. I feel like I'm back on the Strip in Vegas with all these bright lights out here tonight.
Yeah, we're going to have to hear about some of those exploits. They say what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas, but maybe you can reveal some of those secrets to us tonight.
It involves losing money at a casino.
I heard karaoke was involved as well.
3rd and 10 at the 28. Yeah, we should talk about that. Caswell going deep down the middle. Pass is incomplete. Knocked away by A.J. Barnes. 3 and out for Queen City on their opening drive. And Chicago, who has been very good at home, is off to a great start tonight.
And Chicago's looking like that Season 9 version of themselves that got to the championship game against Mexico. They are controlling both sides of the ball now. It's a great, solid first offensive series, and backed up here with just a great defensive effort in the 3-and-out.
So the Corsairs will punt it away. Chat shout-outs. Clint Hendershot, 59, is there watching himself make that vicious hit. Vancouver Legion. Ocho11 is in the chat. Auto JCG is in the chat. Swole 2011 is around. Max Jackson with the 100 bits. Appreciate that. DB the King 7 is with us. Buddha 504 is here. Eric JDWA. T Paternity with the 500 bits for Rivalry Night, although we're not officially calling this Rivalry Night since it was an adjusted Week 13 schedule. Swole 2011 with the 100 bits for shout out to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. JC Torres deciding he didn't want to play just in that moment, picks up just a yard. 2nd and 9 as Queen City gets them running.
Yeah, not exactly sure what the wideout was thinking there, but we talked about how balanced this team looked offensively in that first series. And there's a reason for that, Cam. They're 11th in the league in run offense and 11th in the league in pass offense. So very balanced.
2nd down and 9 at the 39, and the handoff goes to Torres. Check that, Willis, and he picks up a couple out of the 42-yard line on that opening drive. 26 yards to the air, 27 on the ground for Chicago. So speaking to that balance, as you were mentioning, Stephen.
Yeah, and Willis there, just his blockers oblivious to the defenders around him. Couldn't find a block in a Lego house there.
100 bits from B Funked. Appreciate that support. 3rd down and 6 from the 42. E.T. King's pass caught, first down. That is Buchanan Simons, who just a couple of weeks ago had an amazing, actually it was last week, had an amazing game-winning catch over St. Louis.
Well, Simons, a Week 4 signing. This guy actually is number 4 coming into this game. Number 4 in yards per reception, averaging 17.3 per catch. So this is a guy who racks up a lot of yardage, as you can see there on the post route.
3:28 to go in the first quarter. 2 in the backfield with E.T. King. King will hand it off to Willis. Willis again finding some space, but not much. A gain of 3. Zane Doty on the tackle. And Stephen, we're almost to the end of the regular season. That means that Pro Bowl voting will be coming up. That means that rookie check-ins have begun. We've got a promising group already, and we've got some front page games coming up. It's going to be a wild off season as usual. We'll get your thoughts on that here in a minute. 2nd and 7, handoff Willis out of a 3-back set. Duffy with the tackle, no gain. Duffy off to a great start on that Queen City defensive line.
Yeah, we do so much in the SFL here in the offseason. Sometimes it feels like it's more chaotic and busier than the regular season, especially as we wind down here and teams start to, peel off as far as who's going to be in the playoff and who isn't. So, there's no quiet time here in the SFL anymore. There's no downtime.
The Dead Knight 57 says his stream is really slow. Make sure you adjust those quality options as that pass is incomplete. It was a little bit too far out ahead of Tyler Baker, although it looked like he had a chance at it. We'll get another look.
Well, let's not forget that this comes off the basis of those 2 runs where it just really didn't get a lot of yardage and made that kind of a difficult 3rd down and 7. But if it hits you in the hands, young man, you got to pull that one in. And you're not going to see much better passes here in the SFL. So that was a wide receiver error on that one.
Baker's punishment, get out there for special teams as Chicago will punt it away. Malcolm Perrin is the punter for Chicago, trying to pin Queen City inside their 10. This ball will bounce at the 6-yard line and roll into the end zone. So 2:17 left in the first quarter. Queen City is looking for their first move of the chains after Chicago's opening drive touchdown was 5 minutes in length, and there's your updated playoff picture starting to become a little more clear. And Stephen, you see on the left side, we do have a playoff matchup confirmed. It's the 6-seeded Mexico City Aztecs at the 3-seeded Baltimore Vultures, and we'll reveal the date and time of that excellent matchup coming up at the end of the broadcast. 1st and 10 at the 20. 2:17 to go in the first quarter. And the handoff goes to Ash Odom. Look at the space for Odom. Odom trucking his way past the 45 to the 49-yard line. First down, Queen City. The Odom is loose.
Well, the Wildcats missed an opportunity. That's what I was going to say. After they had to punt the ball, they had an opportunity to try and get up on Queen City even more than they are. And it's because this man right here, Odom, you can only contain him for so long. Nearly 1,800 yards on the season. Number 2 in rushing yardage here in the SFL. He's in that rare air of running back, and he's one of the guys you got to account for if you're on the defensive side of the ball.
First down and 10 at the 49. 1:45 to go in the first. Hand off to Odom again. Running up the middle this time. Dragging defenders down to the 45-yard line of Chicago. A 7-yard pickup. Odom saying, you got nothing on me, but we're still waiting for some positive passing yards out of A.J. Caswell tonight.
Well, Odom, he's a guy that runs with a head of steam and isn't shy about lowering his pads. And the more we see that out of him, it seems the more energy he gets built up and make those big game-changing plays.
3 receivers, 2 to the right side. Handoff goes to Odom on a stretch, and Odom is going to get hit below and above by Dylan Rowland and A.J. Barnes. A Rarns sandwich, if you will. 3rd down and 2.
Well, Dylan Rowland, 5th-year linebacker. We know his name for a long time. He is a triple number tackler. 102 tackles on the season, 10 tackles for loss, 5 pass defense.
3rd down and 2 of the 43. They're going to try Odom one more time on the right side. Breaks a tackle. Odom fighting for the first down. Going to drag A.J. Barnes to the 38-yard line for a move of the chains. Barnes and Spurgeon combine for the tackle, but Odom has been lifting some more weights this week.
Well, that's why you pay him all that cash, Cam, to make those kind of plays. 15 touchdowns this season. The guy is a bull in a china shop. He will try and do everything he can to get you those extra yards, and they paid off there with a first down.
1st and 10 at the 38, 2 in the backfield. Caswell's going to throw. Caswell with some pressure off his left side. Wide open is Chris Curtis. Curtis is going to score. Touchdown, Queen City. Chicago blitz left, and Caswell got it out of his hands.
Yeah, Chicago, bad defensive call there. I actually saw wide open receivers for Queen City on both sides of the field. And if Chris Curtis gets open, he has had quite a season for Queen City. If you've watched any of their games, gets them on the board. And this is the reason why Chicago missed an opportunity earlier when they had to punt that ball away, because you got to get up on Queen City when you have the chance.
Otherwise, Ash Odom can take things over. Caswell is perfect, 2 for 2, 26 yards and a touchdown. Ash Odom, 36 yards on 5 carries. A salute to our stat man tonight, Shan Varner. Also should mention Dylan Rowland has a tackle for loss. A.J. Barnes has a pass deflection for that wild card defense with 9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Queen City ties the game up at 7. Well, Stephen, we're back on the air Wednesday night. 8:45 kickoff. Matchup will be revealed after the show on the Twitch front page just a few days from now. It's so exciting. The postseason is so awesome.
Yeah, and it won't let won't let that energy stop. We're here at the last week of the season, and just three days from now, we're going to be into the playoffs and get to see our first 2 matchups.
This is Carter on the return, who already had a tremendous diving catch on the far side. Gets it out to the 31-yard line, and that's where E.T. King will start drive number 3. King, 6 of 7 for 36 yards and a touchdown. That one incompletion you could be considered a drop downfield.
2,600 yards through the air so far this season. 18 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, but he is completing 70% of his passes coming into this game.
Out of the eye, 3 receivers, 2 to the short right side. The top of your screen, down to 10 on the play clock for King against a nickel package. E.T. King taking his time. King going hard count on first down, trying to psych out the Corsairs. He does nothing of the sort. That's just a 2-yard gain, and that is the end of the first quarter of play. We're back to the Thunderdome after a word from our sponsors. This is the SFL on Twitch, presented by APM Music, and we're right back on the other side of the break. APM Music is the official theme music provider of the SFL. Listen to their Champions Will Rise soundtrack at apmmusic.com. and visit their all-new esports landing page to find the best highlight music, heroic action, and epic sounds to boost the quality of your esports stream just like us. Log on to forum.apmmusic.com/esports for more information. APM Music, production music library and custom music house. Simulation Football League is presented by APM Music, Show Business Studios, and MediaTek Institute, among many other tremendous partners. E.T. King starts the second quarter with a pass out to Willis, and he's near a first down. Want to give some shout-outs to Jack Brown with 100 bits, War City for Life with 100 bits. I believe that's Warren Murray. And AP1111 saying, great work as always, guys. We appreciate that. Third and short. From the 41-yard line, 3 backs in a backfield. Again, a nickel look for Queen City. They're going to hand it off to Willis, and Willis does not get there. What a hit by Leroy Jenkins in the backfield, and Chicago will have to punt. Queen City has avoided getting blown out here in the first half, as it looked like Chicago was clicking on the first couple of drives. They've settled down and will get the ball back with a chance to take the lead.
Well, this Corsairs defense has found something. When they see those double blockers in the backfield, Cam, they have shut that down every time. They are keyed up on it. Great job by the defensive coordinator.
High snap, but fielded cleanly from Perrin. This is Kalu on the other side of that punt out of the 27-yard line. 9:51 to go in the first half. Well, Queen City has 3 losses this season. They lost by 3 points to Baltimore, 20-17, by 7 points to Baltimore, 17-10, and by 4 points to London, 20-16.
Yeah, and then they had their bye week before a win in Week 12 against Carolina. But those 2 losses happened in Week 10 and Week 9, so very recently.
Caswell going to take off and run, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats have been watching some film. Good hit up front. Queen City has not played a game in which it has been a 2-possession finish in over a month. The last time they did was a 25-10 victory over Atlanta on September the 2nd. That's a long time to be playing a bunch of close games.
Absolutely is.
2nd and 10 at the 27-yard line. 9:22 to go in the second quarter. Hand off to Odom. Nothing. 3rd down. Chicago's D-line winning this drive.
Yeah, really, if there was any opening there, it closed mighty quickly. And the running back there, Odom, just didn't have an opportunity to find any type of opening. Great job by Chicago's defense filling those running lanes.
Caswell's still thrown just 2 times. Going to throw for a 3rd time now. Goes deep in the middle. The pass is incomplete. Knocked away. I believe that was Hendershot way downfield in coverage. Hudson was the intended receiver, and Spurgeon was in coverage. Queen City 3 and out.
Yeah, not only did Hudson not able to get the catch, but he got a hit after the ball passed him up just for good measure. Boy, they are hitting hard out there. These are 2 hard-hitting teams. They know that they both want to have great momentum going into the playoffs and how important that is. So this game is important to them.
Corsairs will punt it away. 8:54 to go in the first half. We're tied at 7 in a game that means a tremendous amount. From the 38-yard line, return up to the 41. Stephen, this game alone, this result tonight determines 3 different playoff matchups next week.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it just tells you about the parity in our league and how, right up to the very final week in our regular season schedule, these games have meaning.
E.T. King is going to start his 4th drive out of the gun. King 7 of 8 for 36 yards. Back to pass. King dumps it short. Running room for Varner. Varner with 4 receptions, and Varner's got a couple of catches and a touchdown tonight. Sometimes he can go real quiet, too quiet for this offense. Good to see him getting involved early.
Yeah, you like that as a quarterback here in the SFL. You always have to have some type of security blanket that you can go to, and Varner has been that player. We've seen him be a more dynamic player in the past, but he is filling his needed role here.
Back to pass is King. King's pass complete. First down to the Queen City 41, a pickup of 14 yards. That's J.C. Torres. And by the way, E.T. King has connected with 4 different receivers already.
And Coach Varner shared with me actually before the game that how important it was to them to attack the deep middle of Queen City. And certainly they're finding early success.
First down, back into Corsair territory. Queen City, of course, in the green, white, and black. Chicago in that off-gray, black, orange, and white numbers with those pink gloves and shoes for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Willis picks up 4 yards out to the 37-yard line. You know, Stephen, we could have done crucial catch stuff like the NFL's politically correct Cancer Month, but I don't think we have enough colors in our uniform creator to do that.
But we do have enough colors to make some really great uniforms here in the SFL and unique. And I actually like the splash of color here by Chicago.
Second down and 6 at the 37. 7:13 to go in the first half. Handoff to Willis and hit hard in the backfield. Got to give some love if I could ever figure out how to do that. That's Tommy Smith at defensive tackle. What a play.
We'll have to look at the replay here, but this was the first time I believe Willis did not follow his blocker, and you can see the result. I mean, he's been really good about staying on the hip pocket of the guy in front of him so he can get that initial block and maybe use his speed to cut it outside a bit and get a couple extra yards there. Loses yards because he didn't follow his blocker.
King 5 wide. King going deep. Middle pass caught. First down to the 22-yard line. A pickup of about 22 yards to Corey Carter. This guy's having a night. 2 very long receptions of over 20 yards for Carter.
Carter's only recorded 33 receptions for 432 yards and 4 touchdowns coming into this game. Not necessarily the numbers that you expect from a typical number 1 type wide receiver, but he has come to play tonight, not only through making some really terrific catches, but also on special teams as a kick returner. He actually has 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns, so a danger for Queen City in special teams.
Empty backfield again for King. It's been successful tonight. Throws it outside to Willis, who was split out wide. Picks up 4. Second and 6 at the 17. Chicago's back in the red zone. I see you, Squares or Nightingale, with those 100 bits. We're glad you are here.
Well, we're glad you're here as well.
So there's King's updated numbers. Really good night. 132.2 quarterback rating here in the first half. Split backs behind him. Queen City once again in the nickel. They're going to hand it off to Willis. And Willis didn't find anything as the linebackers shot the gaps, Stephen. And that may be one of the reasons why Queen City is the number 1 run defense. They totally disguised that beautifully.
Yeah, and it's going to have a hard time if you're not going to be able to get a blocker on Avery King. You let this linebacker roam the backfield like that and just spy the running back, it's going to be a long night for Willis.
Out of the shotgun for King. Again, Queen City in the nickel. 5:35 to go in the second. Back to pass. E.T. going home. Touchdown, Corey Carter! Chicago back in front.
Well, they don't give away touchdowns any easier than that. Carter basically just runs his route, a short little slant route, and gets wide open in the middle of the field. Again, they wanted to attack. They thought Queen City soft in that deep to middle, and they have been attacking it with success. On this series particularly, they have found something. Good job by Chicago.
Extra point coming for Chicago. While they do that, PB and Jotter in the chat, 100 bits, and says Las Vegas going all the way. Stevenson, if Chicago wins, Las Vegas will be the 9 seed at Sioux Falls. And if Chicago loses, Vegas will be the 8 seed and hosting Chicago. So Vegas would much rather be at home hosting a team coming off of a loss. So the Vegas Fury should be big Corsair fans tonight.
And I think I deserve a certain portion of those bits. You know, Dallas did help them get into the playoffs today.
Which is ironic, since you were one of the reasons why they might have missed the playoffs from your win earlier this season.
Yeah, we did defeat them. One of the only 3 teams we defeated was Vegas, and we ironically helped them get in the postseason.
In talking with Merrick Atera when I went to Vegas and was so graciously hosted by the Fury. He never forgave himself or his teammates for that loss to Dallas. Always considered that a blemish. He was quite bitter about it. And if he's listening or watching tonight, what's up, Merrick, a.k.a. Tony, who's a very funny guy and got dragged into a conversation with a lady who was very intoxicated about something I can't mention on the air. Just a tremendous night in Vegas. 2nd and 6 of the 35. Back to action as Caswell completes another pass.
Well, for Queen City here, their defense, surprisingly, again, a highly talented defense has allowed, Chicago to get 14 points here in the first half with still 6 minutes here left in the second quarter. So as the offense now, you're going to have to come and put some points on the board to try to help your defense. Not something they commonly do.
What a tremendous run there by Odom, and then Spurgeon shoves him. And Odom says, "What I do? I'm just doing my job. Look at this again."
Yeah, you don't think this game matters to these guys? I mean, look at the extracurriculars that are happening out there. But look, this is Odom. This is just Odom to a T, right? I mean, he's able to squeeze through these tiny holes, get skinny, but also bring the power, bring the thunder when he gets that first contact. Of course, you don't want to first contact him as he's passing the first down mark.
2 receivers, 1 to either side, 2 in the backfield. Caswell going to throw. Caswell goes short middle, and 2 receivers in the area, and they both basically run into each other on an incomplete pass. That was a poorly designed play.
Yeah, we oftentimes see these wide receiver routes that, for one reason or another, could be a defender bumping the receiver off his normal route, or it could just be a bad play that sends 2 of the same guys in the same area. Oftentimes we don't see those work out, though.
3 receivers for Caswell on a 2nd down and 10. Queen City's down 14-7. Throw outside, had just enough air on it. Completes it out to Hudson for a 6-yard gain to make 3rd down. More manageable, the 2 quarterbacks tonight. 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Don't know if you saw the shootout right before this game that concerned this conference, but Baltimore beat Carolina 38-36, and in that game, the 2 quarterbacks combined for 4 touchdowns and no picks.
And 2 teams that are heading to the postseason, so it just shows you the quality of play of these teams that are making it into the playoffs.
3rd and 4 for the 47. Odom's got blockers and a whole lot more. Odom breaks a tackle, 40, 35, down to the 34 before Hendershot brought him down from behind. 4 minutes to go in the first half, and Queen City is trying to answer back.
Well, Cam, we talked about Ash Odom. He's got the power. He's got this speed. But goodness gracious, if you give him the blockers, too, this guy will run all over you. I mean, he goes virtually untouched for 15 yards. And then when the tackler gets a hold of him, he gets flinged off. So, if you're Chicago, you've been doing a relatively good job of containing Odom. But, boy, you got to do better than what we saw there.
3:42 to go in the first half. It's 14-7, the exact type of game you want in prime time. This has been a great one as Caswell drops to throw. Will fire out far side, caught by Kalu. Kalu! Oh, he stepped out of bounds at the 26-yard line. I was just about to say he was going to be gone.
Yeah, he almost faked out the defender there. Looked like he was going to go out of bounds, and right at the last second turn, the defender there just whiffs. Looks like 2 of them whiffed there. But yeah, just got probably just the tip of his toe on that white marker out there.
Ron Cochran with 500 bits. He's enjoying the bye week as Alaska still hasn't lost since 1937. 3:23 to go in the second. Handoff goes to Odom, and Odom is dropped in the backfield for a loss of a few. A.J. Barnes is having a really great first half.
Yeah, A.J. Barnes, a great veteran in this league in his 6th season. This guy is a Pro Bowl talent, and we haven't seen his name pop up a lot this season, but when he does, it's always for a big play.
Matthew Nola is at the top of the leaderboards for this week as Odom's going to pick up the first down. You can now start submitting bits for Season 12. Everything stays the same as we move into Season 12 that in a lot of ways will be quite different. We're investing a lot into our presentation and marketing heading into 2019. Stephen, I have seen some of the new looks for these teams. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Caswell takes off. Oh, Caswell took a shot from Dylan Rowland, a loss of a yard, and he's going to think twice before running the sneak again, and Caswell looks hurt.
Yeah, that's a nightmare scenario for Caswell. Probably one in his top 5 to have Dylan Rowland without being blocked coming straight at him, and you're running towards them, towards the linebacker to take that hit. That's what you risk when you have a semi-running quarterback.
That's the 2-minute warning. This is the SFL on Twitch TV, presented by APM Music. So Caswell stays in the game, but he might be suffering from concussion-like symptoms here. I don't know if you saw that, Stephen, but he was holding his head pretty good there after taking that shot. 2nd down and 11 at the Wildcat 25-yard line. 2 receivers to the left of Caswell. He's changing the play. AJ drops 5 steps. Will fire at middle and through the hands of Hudson. A little bit out, too far out in front of him, but it looked like Hudson had it, and it slips right through the bucket.
Well, we're worried a little bit about Caswell and maybe if he got his bell rung a little bit. Sometimes instead of, knocking something off, it knocks something in and getting hit actually gets your blood flowing. That was a solid pass. Should have been caught.
3rd and 11. Caswell, middle again, nearly intercepted. Knocked away that time by Robert Boucher Jr. Water doesn't suck. 4th and 11.
Well, Caswell clearly wanting to go to his go-to guy. Chris Curtis across the middle on the drag route. Just needed to lead that pass a little forward. But Boucher, with just a nice defensive effort, is going to limit them here to this field goal attempt.
So this is a 41-yarder for Ricky Matthews, who's been doing the kicking and punting duties for quite some time in Queen City. Corsairs trying to cut the deficit to 4. Good snap, good hold. Matthews kick. Nailed it. 14-10 with 1:49 to go. Chicago get the ball back, all 3 timeouts.
Well, that's a good job by Chicago's defense, to limit the Corsairs to this field goal. Really gives them a lot of good momentum here as they have 1:49 to really move the ball down the field. And as you mentioned, with those 3 timeouts, if they can play this smartly, they may be able to get a field goal of their own. Coming
into the week's worth of games, Shabazz Synergy led the league in passing, 4,729 yards. He crossed the 5,000-yard mark with today's victory over New Orleans, so congratulations in order there. Nathan Lee is 159 yards away from a 4,000-yard season. He plays Indy tomorrow.
Yeah, that's, in a league where I think the running back and the importance of the running back has really reestablished itself in our league. We're still seeing some great passing numbers and records being broken.
1st and 10 at the 29 as King will drop the throw. Deep. King middle. 1st down to the 46-yard line. Shan Varner. And that's all Chicago wants to do tonight. They are exposing the Corsairs' routinely very solid passing defense.
And for Varner, again, only 27 receptions, 299 yards, and 1 touchdown on the season. So not used as much as he has been in the past, but a critical play here. Gets them close to field goal range.
1st and 10 at the 46. Handoff goes to Willis. Willis gets 4, and Chicago's running no huddle. Wildcats trying to get that lead back up to 7 or maybe more. 1:02 to go. Here's another run to Willis. And Willis only got 3. They may be in trouble here.
Well, you may be thinking, why don't they use the timeout? Maybe they see something here in the Queen City's defense. They want to keep them out there.
King, Willis, can he get it? Yes! Got it! 1st down, 3 straight plays. 45 seconds to go. And are they going to go back to the well? Queen City just can't seem to figure it out here at this moment. 36 seconds to go, and Queen City jumped offside, trying to get a beat on Willis, and that helps Chicago out in many respects, gives Willis a break.
Yeah, it stops the clock, and clearly, you know what, I think they saw that the Corsairs defense was in a favorable formation for that middle run, and they didn't want the substitutions to come in and out. and they liked what they had, so they just kept running that same play over and over. But this penalty allows the Wildcats to take a bit of a breath here, realize where they are on the field, and make a good play call accordingly.
By the way, Ron Cochran, also a part of that 4,000-yard club. He had a tremendous season. We'll see him, I'm sure, in the playoffs at some point, you and I, unless for whatever reason Alaska suffers a stunning upset. We'll go over more leaders in the SFL in the second half. But until then, Willis has a first down to the 18-yard line. A 10-yard gain in Chicago. Will call their first timeout. 27 seconds to go. What a drive to answer the field goal.
Well, if you want any more proof that they saw something in this defense they thought they could take advantage of with that interior run, there's your proof, because they came out basically what was a little bit of a timeout because of that penalty, and they called that same play. They called that interior run. They see something in Queen City's defense they think they can take advantage of, and clearly they're right as they sit on Queen City's 18-yard line.
Spread them out 4 wide with Willis in the back. 1st and 10 at the 18 for King. King, 5-step drop, faces a little pressure, throws far side, knocked away, almost caught. And getting there just in time, I believe, was Achilles Frank.
Well, driver flashed open. King saw the opening there on the corner route, just didn't get the ball to him quick enough, and that allowed the defender from Queen City to come in and make the nice deflection.
So now it's second down with 23 seconds to go. Chicago trying to avoid that too early of a field goal. 2 timeouts for the Wildcats. Queen City's got 3. Everything's open right now for King. King going to the end zone. Touchdown to Simons. Chicago's up 10.
I absolutely love it. Simons, the big play guy on this team, the guy that averages nearly 18 yards a catch. Look for his number on the corner route in the corner of the end zone. King understands the situation, knows they don't have too many more shots to go to the end zone. The last 2 plays, if he's tried to score, and there finds the open man in Simons, who for some reason was left unguarded.
So 19 seconds to go in the first half. The Wildcats have opened up a 20, potentially 21-10 lead as that extra point is through. And Stephen, this is one of the best halves of football I've seen Chicago play in quite some time. And, you know, a very, it's almost kind of a unicorn out there. Chicago appears to have Queen City's numbers late in the season, which most teams do not.
Yeah, let's not forget, this is not the same Chicago team that started the season. In fact, you know, they lost their first 3 out of their first 4 games, Cam. And then they had 3 player pickups in Simons, Willis, and Torres on offense that really changed the dynamic of the entire team. And this is a group, again, who've won their last 5 games, looking good in this game against a quality Queen City team. And I think it has all to do with that injection of talent on the offensive side of the ball.
So 16 seconds left to go in the first half. And Caswell, a 3-step drop, fires it deep down the field, tipped away and incomplete. Spurgeon there in coverage. Again, intended for Hudson, who's been blanketed all night long. E.T. King is 12 of 14 for 128 yards, a touchdown, no picks, averaging 10.7 yards a completion. Thanks to Sham Varner, our stat man, on the back end of things tonight. By the way, Willis, 20 carries in the first half for 59 yards, but it has kept Queen City on their toes, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great defensive play there by Maurice Spurgeon, a long-time SFL veteran. Had a bead on that one.
2nd and 10 at the 25, and Queen City may be conceding. Ash Odom, still going! Ash Odom out of nowhere! He's gonna go! 30-20 touchdown as the clock hits zeros.
He concedes nothing, Cam. When you've got Ash Odom, you're not conceding a single thing because the guy can make plays like that. Power, speed, vision, has it all, used it all on that play, How did he get through that crowd, Cam?
He almost split himself in half there.
Wow.
What a tremendous run. That was one of the best runs I've seen all season.
That's one beautiful banana. That's what old John Gruden used to say. I don't know what he meant, but it just felt right to say that there.
It's never right. Ricky Matthews on to attempt the extra point, and Queen City avoids losing all momentum into the break and may have completely swung it the other direction as we reach halftime. What a brilliant run and play from Ash Odom. We hit the break. 2K Sports Halftime Report coming up next, 21-17. Woo! What a first half.
One of those.
First half numbers. What a great ball game. Even across the board, although Chicago, just because of that opening drive, has the advantage in first downs and time of possession, but otherwise it's been dead even.
Well, you know, I think I still like what Chicago has brought there in the first half. For Queen City, it's been about big plays by their big playmakers. Ash Odom, Chris Curtis making some big plays to score touchdowns. Whereas Chicago, it's been a bit more consistent, Cam, through both the air and on the ground. And let's not forget, against the #1 total defense in the SFL with Queen City, Chicago has found success. Now, they've just made some mistakes. They made an error in coverage that cost them a touchdown on defense. They made an error at the end of the game, allowing Ash Odom to somehow break through all that traffic to make that huge touchdown run to end the first half. But as far as moving forward, I like what Chicago's doing. I don't see that changing. And Queen City, if you're going to have to rely on the big play to stay in this game, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a rough outing for them.
200 bits from Team Paternity saying most amazing run I've ever seen. Devastating. 150 bits from Football Dude 93 for that awesome touchdown. There it is again. Watch him split him right there. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he got caught in his own blocker to start off, and I think that really just kind of, you know, you'd expect it to collapse a little bit more because of that, and the defenders to get on him. But maybe some of the defenders thought that he was caught and laid off a little bit. But you're absolutely right. I don't think I've ever seen a running back split. What was there, I believe, was the defender and his own blocker, and able to just shoot so fast and so quickly out of that very small crease.
We're in for a wild next 22 minutes of action on the field as Chicago has a 21-17 lead over Queen City. Alongside Shan Varner on stats, Stephen Molinex, I am Cameron Irvine here on the SFL Network. Queen City will start the second half with the football. Kalu from the 10, out past the 25-30, and he almost split two defenders to get out of a jam at the 31-yard line. If the result holds, your matchups in the wild card round on Wednesday, number 10 Carolina at number 7 Queen City, number 9 Las Vegas at number 8 Sioux Falls, a rematch of two conference games and conference opponents who only met once during the regular season. 1st and 10 at the 31 for Caswell, hands it off to Odom, and Odom picks up 5.
Yeah, after that big play at the end of the first half, expect to see a lot of Ash Odom here from this offense, which that's the way it should be. But the guy that I'm really looking towards him here in the second half is Dupree Hudson, the wide receiver, number 80. He had some missed opportunities in that first half, and I think if he makes those catches, this could be a little bit of a different score here.
2nd down and 5 for Caswell, who didn't have to be used much in that first half. He'll drop to throw. Caswell zips one in. Oh, it's off of Barnes' back. Still on the air and then falling to the ground. Barnes didn't know where the ball was, but he sure did break up that slant beautifully.
Yeah, excellent play by Barnes to stick his big paw up there and knock the ball down. But then it was on his back for, it seemed like forever. And Barnes was looking around like, where is it? Where is it? And the teammates are like, it's on your back, man. It's on your back.
3rd down and 5 from the 35 now. Caswell empty. Caswell floats a rainbow, and the pass is caught to the 43. rainbow, baby. Kesha, 1st and 10 at the Chicago 43-yard line.
Well, look, Dupree Hudson runs a bit of a fade route, then cuts it back in and just gets all kinds of separation from Blake Hamrack there. But still, the pass was a little bit ahead of him, but makes the good athletic play to jump out and grab that and snatch it out of the air.
Caswell up to 72 yards and a touchdown, has stayed turnover-free. 9:55 to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Line shifts from right to left for Chicago. 2 in the backfield. Caswell hands it off to Odom, and that looked like the same play that Chicago was gouging him on at the end of the first half. Picks up 2.
Yeah, it's just I think the defense just played it better than the other side's been doing it. But, yeah, I think, we've seen Odom have success going outside, going inside. The guy's, he's the master of all things when it comes to running backs.
2nd and 8 at the 41. And off the signature play from Queen City, but missing a block. Odom only picked up 1 yard on the outside. A rare miss from Patrick Carlisle, who just whiffed.
Yeah, when you've got a big fella like that in front of you, you're asking a lot for those big guys to run out there. Might as well use them. I think a little bit more patience by Odom instead of just attacking the block that his big lineman should have got.
154 yards on 15 carries for Ash Odom in this ball game. Caswell going long, and Curtis beat him again. Curtis down to the 19-yard line. They've been beaten twice on that near side, and Queen City's in the red zone.
Well, Curtis has scored his 9th touchdown on the season in this game. He's got over 1,000 yards. That is the guy you have to account for. I'm not sure what the 2 defenders were doing, but they surely weren't looking at number 84.
Curtis is working it. Now 3 receptions and a touchdown in the ball game. 1st and 10 of the 19. Caswell moves the pocket. Oh, what a dangerous pass! And it's complete for a 7-yard pickup. Unbelievable throw from Caswell. Gets it to the 12.
Talk about threading the needle, Cam. I am not sure how he got the ball past the defender that was standing right there beside the receiver. And all he needed to do was turn around and grab that ball out of the air, but didn't see it, and Caswell confident in that really tight window throw.
And Odom just abusing people to the 5-yard line. Is there a hotline for him? 1st and goal.
Yeah, I know. Some of these defenders here in the interior of Chicago, they have taken a beating tonight. They might have thought twice about maybe retiring at halftime. I'm going to take some of those blows, and yes, I'm still using that.
1st and goal at the 5, 7:28 to go in the third. Chicago looking for a goal line stand to keep the lead. Hand off to Odom running right. Ash Odom breaks the tackle. Odom fighting for the goal line down to the 2-yard line. Vic and Spurgeon almost got drug in to that big Wildcat in the end zone.
They could conduct scientific experiments out here, Cam. What happens when force meets force? And we're seeing that every time Odom gets the ball. He is just bringing a defender mentality to running the football.
2nd and goal at the 2. Chicago trying not to give up a lead they had at 21-10. Handoff, Odom going left. No gain. In fact, lost a yard. Again, a double tackle. Dylan Rowland there. And Chicago's Stars have been in excellent position to defend Ash tonight when, of course, Ash hasn't gone Superman on everybody.
Yeah, well, he can, and they know that he can. And they're going to need to bring the wood here. 3rd and goal. Are they going to run? Are they going to pass? Chicago's got to figure this out defensively.
Press coverage. Handoff. Odom. Nothing. 165 yards on 18 carries. Dylan Rowland saves the touchdown on his own.
There is a chess game going on out there. And Chicago temporarily said checkmate on that play. 3rd and goal. You've got 3 wide receivers out to your right. They still believe they're going to Odom, and they guessed right.
20 yards for Matthews, a chip shot, halfway through the third quarter. So we started the first quarter. That kick is good. We started the first quarter with Chicago on a 5-minute drive, 4 minutes, 59 seconds to be exact. And then Queen City to start the second half goes on a 5-minute, 11-yard drive. Only gets a field goal out of it. It is a 1-point game.
Yeah, and they did it in a very similar way to that Chicago did it there in the first quarter. They were very balanced and using Odom and using their wide receivers and Curtis getting open and making some smart plays. So, the one thing we haven't seen, Cam, in this game, a turnover. They have been playing clean football on offense.
5:46 to go in the third. Corey Carter returns up to the 28-yard line. What a fantastic game here in primetime. There's a look at your playoff picture after today's results.
Yeah, and again, these teams, we're going to get a chance to see them all play each other, which is going to be exciting football. If this game is a testimony to anything, it's going to be a great playoff.
Hand off to Willis, picks up 8, and we should mention that number 3 seed and number 10 seed separated by just 2 games.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And Tallahassee even showing some weaknesses over the last couple of weeks. 2 straight losses heading into the postseason. You know, they're trying to tackle some demons. They're still without a title.
Yeah, I don't see how you can't be shaken emotionally having 2 losses going into the playoffs.
5:15 to go in the third, 2nd and 2. Delayed handoff Willis, and he gets picked up and put on the table by Zane Doty. Loss of 1 to the 35-yard line.
And I think that's the first delayed handoff we've seen. And those are boom or bust type plays. They can either, you can get a large amount of yardage because you're kind of faking out the defense, or they can be right on top of you. We saw the latter.
3rd down and 3, 4:48 to go. Handoff to Willis. Willis got a first down, although Doty just went, Excalibur. Unbelievable shot.
Well, it shows you how much Chicago believes in this young man. To give him the ball there on 3rd down and believe that he will be able to do what he needs to do to get you that first down. Tremendous trust shown in this young rookie player.
3 receivers for King and the very balanced Wildcats tonight. King, the throw, good protection, and even better coverage down the field. That is the linebacker Budden that was out there defending, and it was nearly a coverage sack for the Corsairs.
Yeah, King, you give him that kind of time, he normally dissects you. Remember, this is a guy that completes 70% of his passes on the season coming into this game, is even doing better than that so far through the first half. So, yeah, dangerous play to allow him to have that much time.
4:13 to go, 3rd quarter, and again, Willis is picked up off his feet. That time by King. 2-yard gain. Here's a look at Willis's numbers. A solid 3 yards a carry. Nothing to shake your head at. 3rd down.
And this is a critical 3rd down for Chicago, I believe. Based on what we saw out of Queen City's offense on the previous series, Chicago needs to convert this.
4 receivers, 3 to the left. King gonna throw. King, middle. And it's almost intercepted by a sliding Avery King. I believe that was King on the outside. Looking for Torres. Another look at it.
And the ball came out of the pocket so quickly, Cam. Clearly, King thought that he had an opening there, but a nice job by the linebacker, King, to slide down. I still think the wide receiver, although the ball was thrown a little ahead of him, an opportunity for the wide receiver to catch that ball, had to jump out for it. And I don't think Avery King, the linebacker, had a chance at it until after it had bypassed the receiver. So just a bad communication there between the quarterback. I think King rushed it there a little bit too quickly.
Wide receiver got bumped too. I'm not so sure that wasn't interference or illegal contact, but it was tough to say whether that was beyond 5 yards. It was close as that return goes nowhere. Caswell coming back out on the field will start from his 23-yard line. 8 of 14. The completion percentage isn't great. 90 yards, a touchdown, but no picks for the pass-happy A.J. Caswell. And Caswell coming into the game had, let me out, Steven, you got that in front of you? He had how many interceptions? 20.
18. I have 18.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll call it 19. As Odom loses 4 yards. Clint Hendershot's been all over that left side, and Odom's average is down to 8.5.
Yeah, let's not underplay this at all, Cam. Hendershot has been in the backfield a lot tonight. And when you can get that big fella to get on the other side's big fella normally that's going to be a win for the defense.
2nd and 14 at the 20. They're going empty after Odom lost 4. Caswell, rocket shot down the field, caught by Curtis, down to the 46-yard line. Chris Curtis has been the man tonight for Queen City to move the chains.
Curtis has been a route technician this season, really upped his game from last season, Cam. And here just running a post route, and there's nobody near him. And the reason for that is that he's running a crisp route. His quarterback knows exactly where he's going to be, and Curtis has that blazing 4.3 speed.
You know who he reminds me of? Do you remember Jake Legacy from back in the day?
On this very team, yes. The legend.
Yeah, he was a route technician. As Caswell's going to lose 2 more, taking off. Chicago they have done the best job on Caswell's sneaks out of the shotgun than I have seen any team this season.
You rarely say this about a quarterback, but that was just bad vision there by Caswell. Knew that it was he called his own number, was going to run the ball, but he ran it to the right-hand side where Chicago had penetration.
Back to pass, AJ deep to Curtis. Oh, he almost grabbed that over the top of Jesse Vick, who's having a bit of a rough night, but it does bring up 3rd down and 12. By the way, Caswell, I thought I had his rushing numbers. Those are his sack numbers. Been sacked just 19 times this season. They've done a really good job protecting him.
Yeah, he's rushed it. Actually, he's rushed it 48 times this season, Cam, coming into this game. So a viable rushing threat that Queen City likes to use.
3rd down and 12. Chicago's defense trying to force a punt for the first time in the second half. Caswell going long. Cut over the defense to Hudson. Down to the Chicago 34-yard line. That was the best pass of the night.
He drops it in the bucket right there. What a perfect pass by Caswell, the veteran. Look at this. Perfect in Hudson's hands, Cam. Over the shoulder, big catch. Well, really just right in front of him. But just Hudson had to do was run and put his hands out, and the ball just laid in them like a newborn baby.
1st and 10 of the 34. Caswell against a heavy blitz, going deep, knocked away by Vick, who nearly got the pick. Vick this time, who got burned by Curtis on a blitz in one-on-one coverage, and he wins the battle.
Well, there is a reason the Wildcats chose this guy 5th overall in the draft, Camp. Jesse Vick, his numbers not impressive. 10 pass defense, only 2 interceptions on the season. But you can see the talent and the potential that this young man has. And, you know, based on where he was drafted, you know he's only going to get better.
3 receivers, 2 to the right side for Caswell. Odom has been quiet on this drive. Caswell going to hand it to him. Running right. Ash Odom, nothing there. No gain. Dylan Rowland again is in the backfield. And Stephen, 53 viewers right now. The chat is almost dead silent. And that's when you know it's a really good game.
Absolutely. And there, Cam, you know, I always hate to see when you have a lot of blockers that just go and they don't find anyone. I think that was the case there.
3rd and 10. Caswell had to get it away, and Odom is running outside of field goal range as Caswell had pressure in his face. And I don't think Queen City's going to be able to convert this into 3 points.
And that could be for the lead, Cam. What a major mistake by Odom, but I don't blame the kid. You know, he had his back to the defense. He's catching the ball, and I think his momentum just kind of pushed him out of the way. But what a grave mistake there by Queen City in this offense.
When Matthews will punt, Chicago keeps the lead. Inside the 10, bounce at the 8, down to the 4, trickling out of bounds at the 4-yard line. What a punt.
Yeah, that's one of those, you give that attaboy to the punter there, just perfect placement. You know, put it far enough where Chicago's special teamer returner is not going to call a fair catch, and boom it up high enough to allow your special teams to get down there and pin it down. Just a great kick.
3 in the backfield. Chicago's had not much success with this tonight against Queen City's #1 rushing defense, and Willis loses a yard. Tackle by Duffy, who's had, this is the best I've seen him play all season, loss of a yard.
They have really keyed in on that formation. They know exactly how to attack that formation, and I'm just wondering why they continue to call it I know they want to run the ball here near their own end zone, but don't telegraph it.
Now they're going 4 wide here. King gonna drop back into the end zone. Fire it long! Caught by Simons! This guy has big play written across his chest, and Chicago gets out of their own shadow.
Well, that's the very definition of getting mossed, Cam. Simons just makes a great individual effort here to jump up as high as he can to grab this one out of the air. Knows he's going to take a big hit from Doty, I believe, there. Able to come down with the ball.
End of the third. We're in for a treat. Get SFL Nation in here. Chicago's up 1. We're back after the break on the SFL Network on Twitch.
MediaTek, our goal is to create a well-rounded media professional. MediaTek is a place where you can turn dreams into reality. Our comprehensive recording arts, digital film, animation, mobile apps, and web development courses are focused on being very hands-on. We are a career-focused school. Our instructors are not only great teachers, they are also working professionals with real-world experience. MediaTek. Come see what your future
Show
holds.
Business Studios can take your dream and make it reality. Any show, anytime, any place. Show Business Studios is limited only by your imagination. Find us at showbusinessstudios.com.
The Simulation Football League is brought to you by Richard Sprintworks, ScoreStream, and SpyGoat. Brilliant partners here for season 11, which is winding down, but the best is yet to come. King's pass is deflected and incomplete. He threw that into traffic, probably the worst pass of the evening for King. Brings up 2nd down and 10 as Chicago is holding on to a narrow 1-point lead.
Let's talk about that previous play, Cam. A corner route on 2nd down in your own end zone, in the shadow of your own goalpost. What a gutsy call, and Simon just able to go up there and climb the ladder and bring that one down. But that previous play, that mispass was all because of the pressure Queen City put in the quarterback's face.
2nd and 10 at the 22. Handoff. Got 1 for Willis. He'll bring up a long 3rd down and 9. How's this for balance? E.T. King, 13 receptions. 3 to Torres, 3 to Varner, 3 to Carter, 3 to Simons.
Wow. And they've been running the ball a healthy amount, too, in this game. So they have the 1-point lead on this number 1 defense for a reason. Let's see if they can make this critical 3rd down conversion.
3rd and 9 at the 23. Chicago up 1. King has to throw it outside. Simons can't turn the corner. 4th down, has to punt. Simons now 4 catches, 56 yards. Chris Curtis on the other side leading the way for Queen City, 3 for 86. And I want to give a special shout out to Jaye Inyola, who set an SFL record today for most rushing yards in a season. Congratulations, Jaye, and best of luck in the playoffs. By the way, Ash Odom needed 222 yards to reach 2,000 yards for the season. He has 161 so far tonight.
Congratulations, joining some terrific names of some of the greatest running backs in SFL history. Players like Richard Snowden and goodness, there's so many to pull from, Cam. But it's a great honor for what Enola has done this season. Fully deserves it. Has made some just eye-popping numbers and eye-popping runs that we've never seen here in the SFL before.
Three receivers, split backs for Caswell, hands it off Odom. Ash Odom again finding a lane, picking up 5, 2nd down and 5. Receiving leaderboards this season, the honor is Mike Osai's. Number 1 in receptions, 152. Number 1 in yards, 1,795. This is coming into the game, by the way. And then 13 touchdowns, also number 1. 211 targets, number 1. I mean, this guy was an MVP candidate that just got overshadowed. Just a brilliant season. We'll get your thoughts on Osai after this. 2nd and 5 at the 40, 9.5 to go in the 4th. Caswell gonna throw deep, caught, first down to the Chicago 41, and Osai may have to wait. A brilliant pass down the field. Caswell 12 of 21.
Well, there's a reason why Caswell is a champion here in the SFL, making plays like this and making it look easy too. Just identifying his target, delivering a crisp, accurate ball, and this is the result. Now they're into Wildcats territory, knocking on the door of field goal range.
1st and 10 for the Chicago 41. Handoff Odom. Odom made a man miss. Picks up 4.5 to the 37-yard line. And shout out to King BKR 316. Loving the commentary, guys. Keep it going. Steven, your thoughts on your teammate, Mike Osai, this season?
Well, clearly Mike, took advantage of the air raid offense that's in Dallas, and he's not the only one. I believe junior, senior, third, the great rookie wide receiver, was number 4 on that receiving list. So plenty of numbers and balls to go around to those receivers.
Caswell going to take off. Oh, he spins, slides, took a vicious hit, and then pops right back up. They did not give him the first down. They said he started his slide before the sticks. That was nasty, Steven, as Caswell's laying it on the line.
It's hard to watch, Cam. I mean, this is a guy that they're going to need in the playoffs, and he's out there taking direct hits like that.
Caswell, empty backfield out of the gun. Pass, caught! What a catch from Kalu! His first of the night.
And Kalu's lucky he didn't get his head taken off, Cam, and just tremendous concentration to hold onto the ball, as I think it was A.J. Barnes that nearly decapitated him, was able to get his head down. But what a catch and a throw, a little leading. Might be putting your receiver in danger a little bit, but it all worked out.
7:45 left to go in the 4th. You can feel the tension in the Thunderdome. They won a home playoff game, although they won't be able to get it in the first round. They can increase their chances by getting in the second round with a win tonight. Deep ball, caught, Curtis. Oh, they marked him short. Curtis almost had his 2nd touchdown. Another dime from Caswell.
Well, it's Jesse Vick just not being in position defensively, allowed that corner out to be wide open. And of course, Caswell is going to deliver to the outside shoulder to make sure the defender has no chance. Now you're sitting with the ball on the goal line, basically, and you know who you got in the backfield.
1st and goal, 7:20 to go. Handoff, Odom running right. Got a block, got a touchdown. Queen City takes the lead on the road down the stretch.
We don't need no stinking blocks here in Queen City, right? Boy, let me tell you, Odom, I didn't think they needed to go to the outside to run this, Cam. I'm running right down the middle, but what do I know? I don't have Odom as my rusher, and this guy here, look, didn't need the blocker in front of him, was going to go in the end zone no matter what. Powered through that weak arm tackle like it was nothing.
7:17 to go in the 4th quarter. 26-21. Queen City electing not to go for 2 with 7 minutes to go. Agree or disagree, Steven?
I agree for now, based on what I saw from Chicago's offense on that last series. I think Queen City knows they have a top-tier defense. They believe in this defense. And although Chicago's taken advantage of them in the first half, they've looked better here in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Queen City only gives up 16 points a game. Chicago's kind of hit that mark already. And you wonder how much more Queen City's going to give up tonight. It would be out of character for sure. After winning the first matchup 23-14 in Buffalo, as that kick goes to the 11-yard line. This is Carter, and Carter took a few Corsairs down with him at the 30-yard line. 7:13 to go. Let's check in on our live stats brought to you by Shan Varner one of our live statisticians. E.T. King, 13 of 18, 162 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He's been really, really good and spreading that ball around. Jared Willis has been very quiet in the second half. 72 yards on just 26 carries. And a couple deflections for King and Frank, but no turnovers. Now Willis, proving me wrong, picks up a first down out to the 40.
And that's what we need to see, Cam. I was going to say, outside of that Simons catch there near their own goal, their end zone, we've kind of been missing a spark that we saw in the Chicago offense in that first half that we're not seeing here in the second half. Maybe this Willis run is the start of something good here.
6:53 to go in the fourth quarter. First down and 10 at the 40. Oh, the pressure. 27-21. Both of these teams playing it like it's a playoff game already. King, 3-step drop, fires middle, just enough on it. First down to the Corsair 46. King looking Torres' direction.
Well, they say football is a game of inches, and I think maybe it was more like centimeters, because this pass had just a small window to get through before this receiver got clobbered by 3 Queen City defenders. And King able to squeeze that ball into the tight window, and a good job there by number 89. What? I'm missing the number.
Yeah, you got it.
Torres, my bad. Torres.
Willis.
I apologize.
Picks up 4. King on the stop now. 6:05 left in the fourth. Willis a little slow to get up, and then, wow, don't talk about people behind their back.
I was a little slow to get up on that call. I was looking at Queen City's stat sheet, looking at 89, and it was like, Morris Jackson tied in. That doesn't seem right.
King BKR from Buffalo apparently now cheering on his newfound hometown SFL team, Queen City, as King fires it outside Willis. Willis stood up. Only a gain of 2 to the Corsair 40-yard line. This is really important, Stephen, because a field goal keeps Chicago in the game. Obviously, they want the touchdown, but they really need to get into field goal range here, just about 8 yards away from it right now.
And this becomes a very critical first down right at that 5-minute mark, Cam.
4 receivers, King. King, sidearm throw, first down. What a beautiful route from Torres. Simple but elegant, and King's got 196, another first down for Chicago.
And Avery King almost got his big paws on that ball as well. He was just a fraction of a second late, but he had an opportunity to knock that ball out of Torres' hands. Torres does a good job of bringing it in and holding on with the big bear on his back.
First and 10, 4:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Handoff to Willis, nothing. Avery King there again on the stop. 4:38 and ticking. And you got to wonder, with the way Queen City has made Chicago earn things in the second half, this could be the last time Chicago has the ball for all we know, especially with Odom out there.
And that might be the plan, to just try to wind this clock down and give them an opportunity to get in the end zone.
2nd and 9 at the 33. King handoff Willis. Willis got some great yards out of the 28-yard line, protecting that football as Achilles Frank, who's gone quiet tonight, gets the tackle.
And we still have not seen a turnover, Cam, and that would be devastating at this point. But again, we haven't seen any evidence of that happening, so you got to believe Chicago got all the confidence here on 3rd and 4, try to get this one over the line and continue this drive.
3:50 to go, 3rd and 4. They're going to run it to Willis. First down, Willis! What a gutsy call as he ran right past a defender to keep the drive alive.
And again, Cam, following that block, his blocker ran 10 yards further than he did, but just enough to get over the line. Boy, they have so much trust in this young man.
First down with 3:26 to go in the fourth quarter. Chicago could send Queen City into the wild card round with a loss. 3:20 left. King throws, caught at the 15-yard line by Shan Varner, as I think that was Oscar Dunkley, who way misjudged where that ball was going.
Well, I don't know if it was a matter of Dunkley misjudging it or that Varner just reached up in the air and grabbed it out of its trajectory. I think that was more of the case, Cam, that he just snatched it. He saw it, he snatched it, from where it was going and pulls it in for the completion.
Good eye. 2nd and 1. Willis can't get out of the backfield. 3rd down and 3 now. And the clock is ticking all the way down near the 2-minute warning. This might be it for Chicago.
You might as well draw a map, a treasure map to your running back when you run that formation now. That formation's been blown up far too much.
Here we go. 2 in the backfield. I believe that is Simons, or it might be Torres at the top of the screen. Nickel look for Queen City. They've been in it much of the night. They're going to hand it off to Willis again. No, it's not Willis. He was out of the game getting a breather. And instead, Chicago will face a 4th down heading into the 2-minute warning.
Wow, Cam. Wow. How many times have we seen in critical moments overusing your running back that he gets pulled on a critical play?
Chicago and Queen City in for a heroic finish. You're watching the SFL on Twitch TV, presented by APM Music. And that's what you get, Steven, when you're a great defense and you string out a drive that's 15 or 16 plays. And look at Willis is still not out there.
That's right, on 4th and 1 when you need him.
4th and 1 at the 14. King hands it off. 1st down. Unbelievable call as they change it up on Queen City, and Enrico Bavino gets the 1st down.
Well, Cam, you got to give it up for the backup, able to come in and do his one job, the one thing they need from him, and Willis returns to the field.
1:40 to go in the 4th. 1st and 10 at the 11. Both teams still with all 3 timeouts. Hand off Willis. Willis inside the 10. Willis down to the 6-yard line, and Chicago is bleeding the gang in green.
They say milk does the body good, and Willis must have had a gallon of it on the sidelines, Cam, because he came in the game with a lot of juice right there. 2nd and 5, making this, oh, goodness gracious, so close to the end zone.
The Thunderdome is shaking. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. King gonna throw. Near side, touchdown, Chicago! Shan Varner! Tie ball game.
Boom, boom, shake the room. Touchdown for 6. Extra point can give them the lead. Amazing play call there, Cam. Boy, it just seems like Chicago had this plan the entire time. They're going to run as much as the clock as they could on this series. It got it down to 1:06, and they're just going to try and limit what Queen City can do on offense. Terrific play calls all the way down the field.
What an outstanding drive by Chicago. Bad snap. Good hold. Kick good. Chicago leads.
Well, now, all it does is it puts the game on the shoulder of an SFL champion. Coswell, you've got 1:06. You got 3 timeouts. You don't need a touchdown. All you need is a field goal. Can you get the field goal range? That's the question. And you know what? This is a guy and a veteran under center who's done it time and time again.
The Wildcats started the season 0-2. They are trying to finish it 8-2 as Kalu returns it out of the 27-yard line. They may be one of the hottest teams in the SFL unless Queen City can pull something magical up in the next 61 seconds. And Steven, if I was Caswell, I'm looking Chris Curtis's direction. He has had Vic's number most of the night.
Let's not forget, I also mentioned the importance of Hudson. If you make the critical catch here and there, I could change this whole thing.
Back to pass. Caswell throws, it's picked off! Picked off on the sideline by Maurice Spurgeon!
Big players make big plays in big moments. Maurice Spurgeon, he shined just a little bit in this game, but this was just telegraphed here by Caswell. Feeling the pressure in the pocket, trying to go to his outlet guy on the short out, and the veteran Spurgeon just sniffs it out, and I believe seals this game for Chicago.
That's the first turnover of the game, and it came on the final drive. Now Queen City has all 3 timeouts. They cannot give up a first down, can get the ball back if they force a field goal, but Willis has other plans, picks up 7. I have never heard the Thunderdome so loud. This crowd is feeling the momentum of their Wildcats.
Was that not Ash Odom-like, how he got through that traffic? We saw Odom do that at the end of the first half. Here, Willis with so many different ricocheted bullets going past him, able to find 7 yards in a 2nd and 3.
2nd down, 3 in the backfield. Chicago struggled with this. Handoff, Willis. Willis, first down, Chicago avoids the wild card round, and they will be at Houston in the quarterfinals next Sunday.
And of course, it comes on the formation we have been dogging all game camp, and really, it honestly didn't work again, but it was all about individual effort by the rookie. Like, whatever he got on the sidelines, give me some of that, because it was some good stuff.
So,
wow.
Victory formation for E.T. King coming right up. We're going to have a little playoff preview show here, Stephen, as we'll take everybody through the matchups, and we'll look ahead to what is to come. This is going to be a phenomenal playoffs, especially if we get games like we had tonight. Stephen, 4 different teams in the East played over the last 4 hours. All of them are going to be in the playoffs, and there was only 1 turnover between the 4 teams. These teams clearly have risen to the top of the SFL, and 1 more kneel down for E.T. King will do it. What a victory for Chicago.
And you mentioned the 1 turnover. Well, it was the 1 turnover that sealed this ball game. Look, if you give me a minute and you give me 3 timeouts, and all I got to do is get in the field goal range, there's not many more experienced quarterbacks who can do that on a regular basis than A.J. Coswell. Just made a mistake at the wrong time, and the Wildcats, they got their own savvy veteran of their own, was just eyeballing the quarterback the entire time, watching the quarterback's eyes, and comes away with a key turnover.
And Stephen, this is, as the clock is going to roll to 0, congratulations to Chicago. Stephen, this is, I believe, Queen City's 3rd loss in their last 4 games. Is that right?
That is right. They lost in Week 9 to London, Week 10 to Baltimore, had a bye week in Week 11, won against Carolina 34 in Week 12, and now they lose this game. So they're heading into the playoffs, having lost their last 3 out of 4.
But Queen City, the only team they beat down the stretch, Carolina, that is who they get in the wild card round of the playoffs. So we'll have the full schedule coming right up. Stephen, very out of character for Queen City to lose 3 out of 4 at the end of a season. This is the team that we're used to getting hot now.
Yeah, they are. They are known for that. They are known for the kind of slow start sometimes, and then they just get hot at the end of the season and roll over all these playoff teams. But they're going to be taking on Carolina in their own house in Queen City. So it's a home game. But when you look at their win-loss record from the season camp, they've lost 2 at home. So, it's no guarantee that there's going to be home field advantage for them. And we saw this Carolina Skyhawks team, even today against Baltimore, has put up some monstrous points.
Catching my breath, Odom finishes just outside the 2,000-yard season. Avery King had 15 solo tackles tonight. Doty had 11. But when push came to shove, literally, for Chicago, they converted some huge plays on the ground, and it's going to look not very pretty in a box score, but it literally was the difference for Chicago tonight, that balance.
Well, let's talk about those 2 plays there at the end of the game. When you take Willis out of the game and put him in backup, and his backup converts a critical 4th and 1. And then, of course, the interception there by Maurice Spurgeon to really seal it. Just some maybe not too typical plays that we see that really changed the momentum in this game, but give Chicago a lot of credit. They came in and they took it. Queen City's number 1 defense scored, doubling what they normally average.
The playoffs start on Wednesday night at 7 Central, 8 Eastern on the front page. The number 10 Carolina Skyhawks will take on the number 7 Queen City Corsairs. Carolina finishing 7-5. Queen City finishing 8-4. Your quick thoughts on that, Stephen.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's got to be tough for Carolina. They're not known as a team that's been to the playoffs a lot, whereas Queen City, this is old hat for them. They seem to be in the playoffs every season and be in contention every season. So, for Carolina, They saw early success, but have kind of been troubled here as the season has progressed. They're going to need to bring their A game in order to pull one out from the Corsairs at home.
Then in the nightcap at 8:45, that will be our game, Steven.
Woo.
And that will be the number 9 Las Vegas Fury at the number 8 Sioux Falls Sparrows. Both teams finishing the season 7-5. The lone separator, a head-to-head victory for Sioux Falls during the middle of the season. But Vegas has been playing their best football here of late.
Yeah, absolutely. But, historically, Sioux Falls is such a tough place to get a win, Cam. And this is a team that is, this team is so hungry to get into championship relevant. And for Vegas, being their first time in the league, first season, and first time to the dance, they're going to have to pull out their best game and travel into a veteran's house and comprise them absolutely capable of doing so. As you can see in the standings, these two teams are clearly matched, but give the slight nod and advantage to Sioux Falls, who's just their home stadium, one of the loudest in the league, and one of the hardest to get a win and pull a win out of as a road team.
3.5 hours on the Twitch front page. It's going to be bonkers on Wednesday night. Sunday starts the quarterfinals at 5 o'clock. It's the number 5 Chicago Wildcats and the number 4 Houston Hyenas. Both teams finishing 8-4. They met in the preseason.
Yeah, Cam, if I was Chicago, here you go. Here's what you get for winning this ball game. You get Houston at home, and that's such a tough draw, especially considering Houston just beat Tallahassee earlier today. But as we've seen, Chicago can take down the Giants of the SFL, showing that in this game, the defeat over Queen City. But boy, this is a tough opening matchup for Chicago. But if they can defeat Houston, it says a lot about their team, and maybe return to the championship game, and maybe they can atone for that defeat in the championship game back in season 9.
And then at 7 o'clock on Sunday night, we will be in Baltimore for an epic rematch. The number 6 Mexico City Aztecs taking on the number 3 Baltimore Vultures, which was a Friday Night Lights game from early in the season when Matt Wilson made the play of the year. Baltimore 9-3. Mexico City is 7-5. Ramos versus TJ. Ramos versus T-Pat. Ray Bentley, Matt Wilson, T-Roy Gaines, Amon Takes. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, all the celebrities and stars there in this game. For Mexico City, Cam, this season for me, it's kind of felt a little bit like passing a kidney stone for them. Like they're just glad it's over. They're in the playoffs, and now they can kind of start anew. And they're going to go and face a tough Baltimore team, Cam, that looks shaky coming out of the gates. But they got, as you mentioned, a T-Pat in there to start coaching this team, became co-owner, and has really changed the fortunes for the Vultures. And I'm looking forward to this matchup, Cam, because you've got all this experience, this championship level experience and wisdom going head-to-head. Should be an all-time classic.
Then Monday night at 6:30 and 8:15, the Alaska Storm and Tallahassee Pride will take on the winners from Wild Card Wednesday. For Shan Varner on stats and Stephen Mullinex, my tremendous analyst as always, the playoffs start in 3 days in Buffalo, where the 4-time champs go after number 5. From all of us in the SFL Network on Twitch, I'm Cameron Irvine. Good night from SFL HQ.
Our timing is so perfect. Playoff perfect.